Hello! We're going to be learning about modeling in this video, and modeling is really important because without it you couldn't take the further steps needed to make a great model. So, model makes model. Oh, you should have realized that yourself. Anyway, we're gonna make like a ketchup and mustard bottle because that's a good shape to learn how all the edge loop rings work. Yeah, fancy new technology, you know. Anyway, it looks. I'll put a picture up how it looks like it looks like that. It's gonna be on the screen right now. Hopefully, if I can edit properly. And yeah, I'm gonna show you how to make it. All right, so now that we're in, I'm going to be making the cylinder. The cylinder. Shouldn't have said that. The bottles. Okay. So right now, I want to make a figure that's in real life that it's created already, right? I should use a reference image. That should be my first thought, okay? When building a big scene or making something. So the way you do that, I already just showed you. Okay. The way you do that is you open up a new kind of window in Blender. So the way you do that is you go on the top right until you get this arrow, and you can just click and hold, and yeah, boom, new window. Now you click on this button on the top left and click the image editor. Now there's a bunch of stuff, a bunch of editors and interfaces that you can enter, but just go in the image editor and then we can open up an image, which okay, now that I'm in here, I'm going to click Ketchup and Mustard PNG. I'll put this in download in the description if I can, if I know how to. And yeah, this is what I'm going to be using as my reference because it's the first thing I made to prepare for this video. Anyway though, right, so it looks a lot like a cylinder. So we're going to start out with a cylinder because that makes our life so much easier. Right now we have a cylinder, but it's halfway into the ground. Look, so we want the bottom to be here, where the floor is. Right now it's underground. It's 1 meter underground because this thing is 2 meters high. I know that using Blender knowledge. Totally. Yeah, it's just how things works in Blender. Alright, now I'm gonna have to go through this painful process of erasing everything. Alright. Now I'm gonna do GZ1 to move it 1 meter off the ground. So I'm gonna click the number 1 on my keyboard. Alright, I don't know if number pad 1 works too. GZ, no, just 1. Now this thing is up. We want to make it a little bit shorter. A little bit thinner. So I'm gonna do S and Shift Z. So scale it not on the Z-axis. And that looks just about fine to me. I mean, that's fine. Right, now that it's here, we're going to go into edit mode. Before I do that, should really use this tool. Let me check. Okay, just checking if I was recording. Right, now I am going to, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Oh yeah, I feel it's a bit too tall, right? But instead of just SZ, scaling it on the Z-axis. Oh, what's this circle doing? Okay. See, because that messes that up. Oh, and I'm in circle select mode. How do I turn that off? Forget about what I just did. I'm going to tab into edit mode. I'm going to click 3 to go into face select mode. I'm going to do GZ, move that down a bit. But right now, instead, because we don't want to mess up our perfect positioning down there, and that looks just about tall enough to me. Maybe, yeah. S Shift C a bit more. That's fine, okay? And now I'm going to extrude this face by hitting E. Now this might be a bit tricky. Wait. Oh, sorry. This might look a bit tricky and a bit confusing, but it's not that hard, okay? So when you do G and Z up, it just moves that face up. But when you do E and Z, it extrudes the face up, and by extruding, it's creating new geometry, new faces, and new edges and vertices. Right, so I'm going to move it up by, that looks fine. Because that's how tall our nozzle is going to be at the top. So I'm going to do S to scale it down. And that's the basic shape. That if you could stop there if you'd like. I mean, I wouldn't like to, but if you wanted to. But right now, our nozzle isn't really just a cone, right? It's a bit more of a curvy shape. So, kind of like here. Anyway, over here we're gonna tab into edit mode. We're gonna do Control and R. Now, what Control and R does is it creates a new edge loop. An edge loop is just like a regular edge over here. Oh, maybe I should go into edge select mode to show you that. Just an irregular edge, except it's a loop of edges, which totally clears things up. This is one edge, for example, and this entire thing is an edge loop, right? This entire, yeah. Now I'm going to do Control and R. I'm going to left click, and add the edge loop around here. Reasonable, right? And now, how do I select an edge loop without dying of boredom, or maybe my finger goes numb? How do I click the entire thing without my finger going numb? Right. So you can click Alt and click it. Hold down Alt and click. That works. And yeah, that's pretty much the only way. And right now, what am I going to do with this, huh? I'm going to scale it in a bit, and then voila. It's kind of the nozzle shape I wanted. I might scale it out. No, scale it in. But if, yeah. Right now, I think this part's a bit too high. So I can do G and Z to move that down. But what if I wanted this to not only move this down, but to affect others with it? And in fact, in a different way. Like, it does affect them. Like, you can see. But G, if you click G and G again, then it just kind of makes this kind of thing. I kind of like it. But right now, it's not what we need. So why'd I even show that to you? I'm kind of stupid, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, move that down, scale that out. Looks just fine to me. But we want this kind of curve shape. So we'll move it down more. And we'll add more edge loops. Move that down, scale it out. Scale it out. Actually, no, I'll leave it there. G, up there. Control R, here. S, just scale. And then going to 3, move this a bit down. Right, and I'm gonna select this edge loop. I'm gonna GG to move this down. And right now, that's kind of the shape I want. But the thing is, this looks absolutely horrible because it's all flat and real stuff isn't that flat. Right, so I'm gonna right click while this is selected in object mode. Right click and click on Shade Smooth. And then it looks a bit better, not too bad, but still it looks a bit jagged, right? So I'm going to use the modifier. Now, if we go into the modifier properties tab over here, and we go to subdivision surface modifier, then you like, whoa, it looks like a bowling pin now. But yeah, okay. So we're going to do Control and R, right? And we're going to move this down here. And yeah, so that really fixes it up a lot. Control and R, move that up there. And yeah, that helps a lot. And now we're gonna alt click on this. I'm gonna scale it in just a bit more to add the feel. You can do it however you would like. I like this shape, and we're gonna turn on this cage so we can see properly. So the subdivision surface modifier is the most important modifier, and it's the most used modifier probably too. So yeah, it's useful. Use it. But, whoa. Oh, that looks cool. That looks cool. Yeah, that's a good shape. Okay, I mean, you might be thinking, okay, we're done. And you probably would be right. I'm just gonna control or add some more to that. And oh no, undo, escape from that land of horrible messes. I'm gonna turn up this viewport level so it looks a bit better, and voila, you've done modeling. We're done modeling. Right, so now I can bye-bye, say bye-bye to that. I'll make the plate too, but we don't need a reference image for that. Alright. Actually, we're not done. We're kind of done. We're just gonna inset, I to inset, and what that does is it takes out that horrible, disgusting. Right. Well, I should probably explain my actions. Right. So right now, this shape is making this horrible, yucky distortion. Let's just call it that. I don't know a better word. So the way to fix that is to add more geometry. That's almost always the way to fix anything in Blender in the modeling issue. You're just gonna click I, and what that does is it's kind of like extrusion. You might, if you want to, call it the opposite of extrusion, and it kind of makes more geometry inside, insets it. So it's almost like it's intruding, except it's not, because it's making more geometry on the inside of the other geometry, if that makes sense. It's a bit difficult, but trust me, it's fine. Okay? Alright. Now, let's just go into our viewport shading mode. Let's do G and Y, move that to the side a bit, and Shift D on the Y-axis, move that over there. And actually, I might want that a bit in. G, Y. No, I did not meant to click that. And now we're going to make the plate. Plate isn't that hard. You go Shift A. We're going to add in a circle. You might have thought. But the circle has nothing filling it in. So that's kind of messed up. I don't want that. That's yucky. So you're going to click on here, add circle. Oh. Forgive this guy. Right, now, over here, we're gonna make the circle, vertices are fine, don't need to deal with it, radius, fine, you can make it larger, smaller, I think that's fine, I'll just leave it. But the fill type, right now it's filled with nothing, absolute nothingness, end gone, triangle fan, no clue what that does, stick to end gone. I'm gonna turn this back on. Right, so it's 3 white shapes. I don't want that. First, let's finish modeling, actually. Back into modeling. General viewport shading, who cares? I'm going to go into to this thingy select mode. And I'm going to, no. I'm going to intrude or inset or whatever, inset faces, yeah. And that looks fine. Maybe a bit more S to scale it down. And right, I'm gonna take this, the outer ring, I'm gonna do GZ, move it up, and now I might as well shade that smooth, and it looks pretty nice. Now we'll go into this shading mode. We'll add some colors in. This can stay white, actually, I don't really care. This, we will make it yellow, a nice beautiful shade of yellow. This, we can make it red. And this, we also have to add the material. I mean, we don't have to. And I know it looks beautiful already, splendid, but yeah, we don't need to change anything. I was thinking, but that's a bit advanced, right? If you really would want to, actually, though, you could come down here and change the roughness down to, like, very low to none. But that's fine, yeah. Change the render engine from Eevee to Cycles. Change from GPU to CPU compute. And I'm pressing numpad 0. Get into the camera. Change the view. Oh, yeah, I press shift and tilde key. which is the key below escape, and here, and you can just go render image, right? This is the first time that I've actually learned, out of all the time that I've used Blender, I just realized like a week ago that how to full screen Blender. I should have known that. It's window, and then and then toggle window full screen. And I made the shortcut F11 by change shortcut, right click, change shortcut. Anyway, I'm gonna save the file. Don't forget to do that if you want to save your work. So I'm just gonna click save as. And with that, enjoy your render, and make sure to check out my rendering video for tips on rendering, like denoising. Might want to check that out. And bye bye.